like this. Oh no. Oh no. What? Y'all, we have a problem, okay? Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to another video. This is going to be my Thorn Queen reading vlog. If you've seen me post about this previously, you will know this is going to be a little bit different of a reading vlog. So I'm actually coming to you post filming to do another intro so I can just explain this video to you all. So I wanted to start a series where I read my most highly anticipated books, and I wanted to do them as full spoiler vlogs because a lot of them are going to be second or third or however many books in a series, and so I knew the people who would be watching that video will have already read that series or wouldn't be interested in reading that series. So I'm still planning on doing more videos like that, but that's the mindset that I went in with this video. I was so excited to read Thorn Queen, and I wanted to document my reaction of reading it because I just expected it to be a 5, 6, 10 star read, and it unfortunately did not end up that way. I had a lot of trouble with this book and I ended up not loving it, and I posted a poll on my YouTube channel asking if you all would be interested in seeing a video where I didn't like a book, because I feel like it ended up being just kind of a negative video because I didn't like it, and this is the only book that I read for this vlog, and most of you said yes, you like seeing someone's like real and honest reactions. So I am still posting it obviously because you're seeing this, but I just wanted to come on and say this is not the normal type of video that I will be posting. I really expected this to be a very happy go lucky video where I found a new 5-star, and it just didn't end up that way. I also wanted to say that I am in no way the ultimate authority on whether a book is good or not, and so just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that you won't like it, and I actually really hope that you do. If you loved The Rose Bargain and you're so excited to read Thorn Queen, I genuinely hope for you that you love it. It would almost make it better for me that I didn't, but at least some of you all did. If you liked this book, this video is in no way commenting on your taste in books, because I wish I had your taste in books. I wish I liked this one. I just didn't. I hope this video doesn't come off super negative. I tried to convey my feelings in a lighthearted way, and I hope this is still entertaining to you. Just know I didn't like this book. I'm so sad about it. This is a full spoiler vlog. All of my check-ins, I'm basically explaining what's happening to you in the plot, and so if you haven't read it yet, don't watch this video. All of it's going to be spoiled. I just wanted to come on before my like actual intro and just explain what's going on in this video, because the Lydia at the start of this video was so happy and so excited, and then the Lydia at the end of the video was so sad and so disappointed. So that whole caveat aside, I still hope you all enjoy this video. I'm going to blast you to the past, to past Lydia, who is very excited to read this book. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to a new video. I have such an exciting video to bring you along on this week, and that is because I am finally reading The Thorn Queen. If you have seen any of my previous videos, I have probably talked about The Rose Bargain in them because I am just fully obsessed. I have been waiting for this book to come out since last February. I just can't believe I actually have this in my hands. I am so excited to read this. I have very high expectations for this book, like very high. I really hope it matches them. I have a good feeling it will, and oh my gosh, I just can't wait to read this. This is going to be a full spoiler vlog. I am going to say that again so that you can click off this video so you don't get it spoiled for you, but full spoiler, I'm going to be spoiling everything about this book and about Rose Bargain. So if you haven't read either one of those books and you want to, probably you want to click off. If you have no interest in reading those books, or if you have already read them, this will be the video for you. So what I did is I actually read the first chapter in this book, and I realized that I didn't have The Rose Bargain as fresh on my brain as I wanted it. So I actually have just finished reading The Rose Bargain for the second time. I did a reread. So good, y'all. It's so good. It's still 5 stars, which I'm so happy about, which makes me even more excited to go into this one. Like, it was just perfect. It was so good, and I just love her writing. I loved the plot. I loved the twist at the end. I loved the characters. Everything about it was just so good. I'm gonna start talking about that book. We're gonna get into the spoilers, so again, spoilers here. click off if you don't want to know. At the end of the Rose Bargain, we find out that Bram was playing them all along and he needed to have Queen Moore crown someone twice in England, because we find out that where Lydia went on her time away was actually to the other world, and the time in the other world passes a lot quicker than it does in England. She was there for like a couple, maybe like a year or so, and it was only a couple months in England, and she actually became queen of the other world. She married Bram and became queen of the other world, and when she came back she lost all of her memories about it. Bram was trying to do that so that he could open the portal in between the other world and England, because he wants control over everything basically. The entire time he knew he was going to marry Ivy. Everything that Emmett and Ivy were working towards in the Rose Bargain, Bram was playing them the whole time because he wanted this to happen. It voids all bargains made with Queen Moore, and so everything is like thrown into chaos. He imprisons Queen Moore, he takes Lydia and Emmett back to the other world, and Ivy is just left to like fend for herself, and literally the book just ends in kind of chaos. And so where we start out in this book is a few months later. Ivy is still Queen of England and still acting as ruler, and we have Lydia in the other world. Ivy doesn't know this whole thing about Lydia being married to Bram yet, I don't think. That is where we left off. We're going to start into the Thorn Queen. I'm actually headed to the store, and so I'm gonna pack up all my stuff and I will start the book there. I'll probably reread the first chapter that I did, and yeah, I just can't wait for some good Emmett and Ivy content. I don't really have any expectations as to how the plot is going to go, if they're going to be spending more time in the other world. I bet they probably are, because you kind of built it up in the first book, but yeah. I'm so excited. I hope this is just the most perfect 5-star amazing book I've ever read, and I cannot wait to read this. So that is the plan for today's video. I'm so excited to start this. I am going to pack up all my stuff, head to the bookstore, and we will start reading in The Thorn Queen. I just ordered this one for myself, The Wicked City. It's not as pretty as the fairy lit version, but I'm still obsessed. Look at the mermaid tail. I can't wait to read this. Wed to one brother, in love with another. Scandalous. Hi guys, I've made it home for the night. I took my little party pony down as soon as I got home because I was getting that ponytail headache, and now I have a crazy kink in my hair. It's time for our first Thorn Queen update. At the store, I made it to page 68. I stopped right before chapter 7, and we have some things to discuss. The book starts out with a chapter from Emmett's POV, which was just, of course she did that to us. He is in some sort of cell or prison. Current consensus is that that cell is in the other world. We think he and Lydia are both in the other world. I think basically that chapter was just to tell us that he still is alive, and all he wants to right now is Ivy. He's like yearning to get back to Ivy because of course he is. It's just Emmett, and we loved that. We hate that Emmett's in prison, but we love that he's yearning for Ivy, trying to get out and find her. I can't bring myself to regret any of this, not if it means I got to have her. Oh my gosh. Fabulous start. We get to our very first chapter. That was, I guess, kind of like the prologue first chapter, and Ivy is going to one of the fairy revels. Bram has brought a bunch of fairies over to England from the other world, and they have basically taken over court, and they throw revels every night, which we kind of touched on in the first book, but it's basically fairy parties. And during these parties, they are completely like abusing humans, and Ivy is like doing her best to try to help them, but they're making bargains with these fairies and they can't really be stopped. And so we see our group of girls, so Ivy, Marion, Faith, Emmy, and Olive. We don't know where Greer is. The last book kind of left it unsaid if she is actually dead or if she had run off with her man. So I guess we'll see in this book if she comes back around. I feel like that could be a possibility. But we haven't heard anything about Greer. So all the girls are going to the revel because she's trying to talk to this one fairy named Aurelia, I think. Basically, she's trying to gather information about how you get to the other world, and in doing so, she's trying to slyly ask fairies how they get from the other world to England. As soon as she asks her, Aurelia gets seized by Bram's guards and taken away. So that kind of blows up in her face, and then Bram shows up to the revel, stopped all pretense of being the good king. He's gone into his full like bad boy self. The relationship between him and Ivy is very strange because he will come to her at night for kind of seeking comfort, but then he treats her horribly during the day. Ivy can't stand him, obviously. All she wants right now is to get Emmett and Lydia back. Once again, reading a book with Lydia as a main character is just very strange to say my name out loud and be like, oh, poor Lydia, stuck in the overworld. So this specific revel in our first couple chapters is held at Ryan's house, and I believe that's how you say his name. It's R-H-I-O-N, so we're gonna call him Ryan. He is a fairy, and he asks Ivy if she will call on him that morning for breakfast. So our night ends. They don't really get anywhere on trying to find the other world. She goes to Ryan's house and she's trying to ply him for information, and I really like him as a character, and so I hope he ends up being as good as we think he is right now. But he's a fairy and he really plays dumb, like he's just some like rakish boy or rakish fairy. He tells Ivy that he wants to be friends, and he asks her to come to the baths with him because there are these Roman baths in England, and we can kind of tell that he wants to tell her something, but he can't tell her in the presence of everyone else. And so she's like, yeah, another day I'll come to the baths. She goes home and Bram tells her that she has a present for her, and she's like, oh gosh, what's the present? They go downstairs, and he had brought Ethel to see Ivy. Ethel was the old lady who also loved fairies and who would talk to Ivy about fairies through letters in the first book. He goes outside and he was like, she was just here, I don't know what happened. Ivy looks up and Ethel is literally stabbed through with a tree branch, and there are a bunch of fairies around her laughing, and they say that she tried to make a bargain with them because she wanted to fly, and then she flew straight into the tree branch. Ivy literally goes outside to try to see Ethel, who she hasn't seen in forever, like her one source of comfort, and she's dead. So that was a really harsh reality for Ivy. So Ivy's obviously traumatized by that. She goes back into the castle and she basically like sleeps and cries for a day, mourning Ethel. She goes into the kitchens, and when she was at Ryan's house, he mentioned that her friend Olive, he had seen her leaving the palace every single day at 11 a.m. in like a really raggedy cloak, trying to disguise herself, and he kind of made it seem like, is this a new fashion? Like, should I wear something like that to our next party? And Ivy was like, what do you mean? Like, Olive doesn't run around in a raggedy cloak at 11 a.m. And so it kind of sticks in the back of her mind. After she has her grieving day, she goes into the kitchens looking for something to eat, and Ben is there. Ben is a kitchen assistant cook, and he's kind of become part of their little inner circle. She's like, hey, do you know where Olive goes at 11 a.m. every day? And he's like, no, but when she comes to assist me in the kitchen, because remember, Olive loved to cook and Ben has a crush on her. It's really cute. He's like, when she comes to help me cook in the afternoon, she's always soaking wet, and she tells me that she's been gone to the baths. Ivy's like, why would she be going to the baths? So she kind of rallies the other girls. She's like, hey, we're going to the baths. We're going to try to find Olive and see what's going on. They go, they see her kind of scurrying down a corridor, and so they follow her and they find this secret hidden door. They go through it and Queen Moore is there. At this point they didn't know where Queen Moore was because we ended the book with her in the tower in prison, but Ivy had snuck out to try to find her and couldn't, and we now see that she's been in England this whole time, just hidden behind a secret door in one of these random passageways. Olive is there, and she's actually been enchanted by Bram to care for Queen Moore. So she takes Queen Moore food and water every single day, but Olive has no idea she's doing it. She doesn't have any memory of it. They kind of confront Queen Moore and get a little more information about Bram and crossing over, and Queen Moore doesn't really give her anything. She's basically just like, whatever, Bram loves me. And Ivy's like, you're in a cage, he put you in a cage. And she's like, he loves me, this is just a disagreement. Don't really get a whole lot from Queen Moore. But when they're leaving, they stumble into Ryan, and he's like, oh my gosh, finally we can talk freely. And Ivy is obviously very skeptical of him. She's like, we're just lost, like we were trying to go to the baths and took a wrong turn. He doesn't buy it, and he's basically like, no, I'm on your side, I want to help you. So he just starts spilling his guts, and he tells them that he was one of Bram's really close friends, and he saw him transform into the monster that he is today, how he got really power hungry and killed his dad and all this crazy stuff. And he was always on Queen Moore's side because Queen Moore was always the one in the monarchy who had a little bit more empathy towards humans. Obviously she still did what she did, but she's the one that cut off access to the human world from the other world, and Ryan was always on her side. He always felt also empathy, but more just a kindred spirit with the humans, and he was always wanting to come to England. And he basically tells Ivy that they need to get rid of Bram because he is destroying England, which is true, because we also get a little bit of background of what's going on in the city, because England is still functioning as it should be, just with the addition of fairies, which is kind of thrown into chaos, but they're still having to deal with diplomatic and political things. So Ivy is attending all of these strategy meetings about crops and whatnot, and trying to help humans find their missing kids or all this crazy stuff. So a lot of backstory we got in the first however many pages. So literally the last sentence that I read before I stopped to come home is that Ryan is explaining that there used to be a ton of doors connecting the other world to England, but Queen Moore put this enchantment on them that makes it so that her lineage is the only one that can cross. And he says Bram can't open the door, Bram is the door. So I'm sure we're gonna get an explanation to that in the next chapter. I think that's all I need to tell you. I've been taking notes in my little notebook so I can know what to tell you all, but that's what we have so far. I'm loving it. Ooh, I just really need some Emmett content. I hope they find him soon because I just feel so bad for Ivy. Ugh. And then for him to kill Ethel. They still don't know that Lydia is queen of the fairy world, and I don't know how it's going to come in play yet. I'm sure maybe it'll be on how they can stop Bram, because Lydia and Ivy are technically both queens, one of the fairy world, one of England. We haven't heard or seen from Lydia at all so far. We've only had that one tiny little chapter in Emmett's POV. Right now we're operating under the fact that Emmett and Lydia are in the other world and they're trying to get there to rescue them. And then once they rescue them, they're going to take down Bram, fix everything. It's all gonna be great. I really hope that Ryan is a good guy and he's actually a good character, because I just like his character so much. He's so funny and quirky. He's kind of obsessed with like human fashions, and when Ivy shows up to his house for breakfast, it says that he was wearing some sort of trousers with a women's corset and like 10 diamond necklaces because he wants to wear the human fashions, and I just really like him, so I hope he's actually a good character. I have a workout to do tonight, and then I have a little bit more editing to do, and then I'm gonna read. So I will probably talk to you tomorrow morning with my update, but yes, so far so good. Loving it. Y'all, we have a problem, okay? I hate the way the plot is going right now. Oh no. Ivy does her plan with Ryan to get into the other world. She gets there and Lydia is there as queen of the other worlds, like we already knew. Emmett is also there and doesn't believe that it's her. And so he like runs away from her and she somehow proves that she is. Lydia tells her that it's been 2 years since they came over to the other world, even though it's only been 4 months in England. And in this time, apparently Emmett and Lydia have become best friends. They're not in love, but they've become best friends. And Emmett like wants nothing to do with Ivy. They just had this big fight, and I hate this. I hate this so much. We kind of find out that again, Bram was one step ahead of everyone. The way it's looking right now, Ryan did like double cross them, and Bram wanted Ivy into the other world apparently. Ryan kind of like helped plant that seed in Ivy to get there and like manipulate Bram to get there, even though he wanted there in the beginning, because he has now said that he can't have 2 wives and that Lydia and Ivy have to play in another game and compete to be the one and only queen. If Ivy doesn't participate, he has Faith and Marion trapped. Also brought them over to the other world. It says that the rest of the crew got away. He'll hurt them if Ivy doesn't play in the games, and then if Lydia doesn't play in the games, he'll hurt Emmett, because apparently Lydia and Emmett are best friends now. I literally hate this so much. I don't know why I get so attached to these books, but I am like so sad right now because this is just not the story that I wanted at all. It's like Emmett and Lydia have this special bond now, and he basically told Ivy, Bram told Emmett that Ivy was dead, and so it almost feels like he's mourned her and he's over it, and he's mad at her for making a bargain to forget him, because he says that he never would have forgotten her, like he never would have made that bargain because loving her was the only thing that kept him sane while he was in the prison, and she just like bargained away to forget him. I hate this so much. Like so much. I don't know. I really don't like it. They just did their first trial in the games. Loki, I hate Lydia as a character. I feel like she is so selfish. She basically was like, Ivy, you're not even a real queen. Like, I am full-on queen of the underworld. I've been here for 2 years. You've been in the Queen of England for 4 months. Like, you don't know what it's like. Lydia is such a little brat. And now she's the one that Emma gets to be close with. And they just had their first trial, and they had to go into these woods and find a creature that was stamped with the king's seal, and they had to like kill the creature and bring it back. They get there at the same time, Ivy and Lydia, and it's a white unicorn, and it's like this beautiful majestic white unicorn, and it's a baby unicorn, and Ivy's like, absolutely not, there's no way we can kill this sweet baby unicorn. Lydia breaks off its antler and stabs it and kills it with its own antler. I literally am like, I hate it. I hate it. I am just really not enjoying myself right now, and I'm so sad. Like, this better turn around quickly. I'm only on page 146, but there are only 350 pages in the whole book. It's shorter than The Rose Bargain, so I'm a third of the way in. No. If this ends up being like a low rated book, I am going to be devastated, because I have been waiting and like itching to read this book for over a year now. It's been like a year and 2 months, a year and 3 months since I read The Rose Bargain for the first time, and have been like waiting for the Thorn Queen to come out, and I hate it. I am literally not enjoying myself in the slightest right now, and I'm so sad. I wasn't even gonna do this update, but I just can't believe what I just read. I'm so sad. I'm gonna read more tonight, but I'm so sad. I need this to be fixed immediately. Hi guys, it is the next day. It is actually very late the next day. It is 9:30 at night, 9:24 at night. And I'm just giving you my next update because if you couldn't tell, I was having a bit of a mental breakdown last night. I was so upset. I read a little bit more last night and then I took a break today and I'm gonna read some more tonight. So I needed to give you the update on what I read after I talked to you last night. It got a little better. I don't know why I get so attached to books and to characters. I don't know why I'm like that, but maybe this is partly my fault for hyping up this book so highly in my brain that I was just expecting it to be a million stars, best book I've ever read, because I loved The Rose Bargain so much, and because The Rose Bargain stood up to its 5-star rating even a year later. I was like, okay, this book is gonna be incredible. And I just really was upset with where the plot was going, and it has gotten a little better, but I don't know what to think. I think I was just upset last night, and everything that I was reading after I talked to you, I was just like, hate this all, when really I shouldn't be hating it that much. But a little bit of the update. So I don't remember where I talked to you. I think I ended up reading about 100 more pages last night. I really only have about 100 pages left in this book because it's shorter than the other one, which I wasn't expecting. But I left you off where we had come to the other world. We get all this new information about Emmett and Lydia being best friends and all that stuff. We've made a little bit of progress in the Ivy and Emmett lane. We also make a little bit of progress in the Ryan situation. So we get back to the castle. Ryan comes knocking on Ivy's door and he's like, hey, I know it feels like I betrayed you, but I'm still on your side. I just couldn't tell you that Bram wanted you to come to the other world. Like, I was trying to protect you, even though it seems like I betrayed you. For his credit, I believe him. I feel like he's just too good of a character to be lying again about this. I do feel like it's kind of funny because Ivy has trusted him really easily both times, even on the second time after he betrayed her. They basically gather the group together because remember, we have Lydia, Emmett, Ivy, Ryan, and Faith and Marion, because they're the like bargaining chip. We still have no idea where Olive and Emmy are. They're gone. They're still in England. So they gather them into the room and Ryan's like, okay, here's what the deal is. Emmett and Lydia had been doing some research into a knife that Bram used to kill his father, because Bram is basically unkillable because of his place as a royal. It like gives him some sort of like special immortality, being even more immortal than the fairies normally are. Because he's a royal, he has this like special protection over him where he can't be so easily killed. Bram's father was the same way, and so he used this special knife that made out of a certain type of iron to kill his dad. Ryan was like, I know where that knife is, and so if we get it, we can use it to kill Bram. Lydia doesn't want to kill Bram. Lydia wants to use it as a bargaining chip to get him to abdicate the throne. I think they're gonna end up killing Bram, personally. I feel like he's too far gone. I don't feel like he is gonna have a redemption arc, but I could be wrong. That's just my theory at this point. When we get a few like Emmett and Ivy scenes here and there, he's like sleeping in front of her door because he doesn't trust anyone to like keep her safe. He takes her to this fairy tavern that he has been frequenting that has kind of become his like second family in this world, and they have 2 little kids who call him Uncle Emmett. And when they bring him in, you can tell that he's talked about Ivy, because the wife is like, oh my gosh, Emmett, I'm so happy for you, like she's not actually dead, and is like hugging and crying. And so we're getting like these little tiny bits of Emmett and Ivy's relationship. I think the whole him being Lydia's best friend and then their big fight just really threw me off, so I'm trying hard to like center myself again and get into the Emmett and Ivy scenes. They go on this big quest to find this knife, which is at a cottage in the woods, and these woods are like very magical and very temperamental, and so they're going on this trek and they have to cross over this bridge. You have to throw a button from your favorite coat as payment to the spirit who lives under the bridge, and you have to give him your favorite memory attached to the button. And everyone goes through except Ivy, thrown back to the castle because her spirit rejects her button. When she gets back to the castle, she thinks that it's 70 years later and Emmett is now turned into an old man. Bram is still king, and she's like sobbing and crying, and she was like, I can't believe I missed our life together over this like stupid button. And so she's like sobbing, crying on the floor. The other crew has no idea what's going on. She's basically just in a really bad dream. All they know is that she's been sent back to the castle and they think that she's safe, and so they go on to the cottage to find the knife. And when they get there, there are these things called red caps there that are kind of like inhabiting the cabin, and I can't really tell what they are. They're kind of like birds, I think, because they were like clawing them and flying around, but they're just basically these creatures, and they get upset and they start like attacking and everybody starts freaking out. And basically the red cats tell them that they threw the knife into these caves, and these caves are where no one dares to go because they're called like the caves of unimaginable pain or something. And so they finally get back to the castle knowing that now the knife is in these caves, and they see Ivy like lying in the fetal position on the floor, and Emmett runs to her and it's like, what's wrong? And she's like, oh my gosh, I thought it was real. I thought I missed all of our life together. And so they have a sweet moment there. They're trying to figure out a way to get to the caves without Bram knowing, because while they're on their adventure to the cottage, Bram is in England for something, and so he's gone while they're doing that, and he's gonna come back soon, so they couldn't venture out to the caves. And so they come up with a plan that Ryan is going to convince Bram to hold the second trial at the caves. Basically the trial is that whoever lasts in the caves the longest wins, but Ivy and Lydia are going in knowing that they're actually looking for the knife. So that's where I left off last night, was when they got into the caves. I think it's obvious that it's going to be like emotional pain, not physical pain. They're gonna show her visions of everyone she loves dying, I'm assuming. I'm on page 233. There are only 350 pages in the book, so I have about 120 pages left. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it tonight. I started reading it too fast last night after I talked to you because I was just like wanting to be done with it, and I don't want that to be the case. I want to love this book so much, and I don't know if it's redeemable to be a 5-star. I'm hoping from here on out it can at least be a 4-star. Yeah, I'm sad. I'm really sad. I think I'm really just disappointed because I have been building up this book in my head since last February, and just to have it be such a letdown is just so disappointing. And I know it's just a book and it's fictional characters, but I get so attached. I really do. And if you don't feel that way about books, you probably think that I am literally insane. But if you do, hopefully you can understand how I'm feeling right now, which is just like sad disappointment. So I'm hoping it picks up. That's why I took the break today and I didn't read it at all today while I was at the store, because I just really wanted to take a break from the story and not think about it, and then try to go in to the story tonight with a better mindset, because I don't want to hate my way through this book. I want to give it a chance. I talked to you all right after Emmett and Ivy had that awful fight, so that was probably the worst of their relationship coming to a head. I felt like I was feeling Ivy's sadness through me, because that's all she talked about for the first part of the book. She was doing every single thing she could to get to Emmett and Lydia in the other world, and she gets there and they both just dismiss her. So much time has passed in the other world that is basically 2 years, and it just felt like he forgot about her and he didn't care for her as much as she did. And I mean, you know that. If you've ever felt that before in your life, you know how horrible it is to like love someone and then not reciprocate those feelings to you. And I don't know, y'all. I was feeling all the emotions after their big fight. The night after the fight is when Emmett takes her to the fairies tavern and introduces her to his surrogate family. And that was a really sweet scene, but I almost felt like I couldn't enjoy it because I was so upset about the fight. I almost wonder if I should go back and read some of those scenes again just to kind of get in the Emmett and Ivy mindset. I don't know how much I'll read tonight. I might finish it tonight. If I don't, I'll definitely finish it tomorrow. But yeah, I want this to be a good book. I don't think it could be a 5-star. I think I've already felt too horrible about it to be a 5-star, which I think is what's also disappointing me, because I was like, this is gonna be 1,600,000 stars, and it's not. It is sadly not. I'm looking a little worse for the wear because it's 9:30. I've been at the bookstore today, but forgive me for and I'm sure I looked insane last night giving you all that update in the middle of the night. I am a night owl and I'm a very night reader, and so I was updating you at like 1:30 in the morning yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, I just know I'm gonna sound like a lunatic giving you all that update, but I hope you understand. I hope you feel those feelings with me. I'm getting ready for bed and then I'm gonna read some, and then I promise not to give you any updates tonight. I will wait till tomorrow, and then I will talk to you in the morning. I forgot to tell you one thing. We find out that Lydia killed the unicorn knowing that it is actually immortal, and so it didn't actually die. It just like went to sleep for a little bit and then came back to life because it was some sort of rare baby unicorn that reincarnates or something, and so it didn't actually die. So if anyone was worried about the baby unicorn like I was, baby unicorn is okay and it forgives Lydia. Apparently they had a little moment where it came back to life and she was like, I'm so sorry, go be free. So there was a little bit of redemption for Lydia there, but I still just don't like her character, but I'm gonna give her another chance. She gets another chance because the baby unicorn didn't actually die. Okay everyone, I have officially finished Thorn Queen. I have no idea what to rate this. I really don't. I'm gonna have to think about it for a little bit. I got some scenes that I wanted. The epilogue was really sweet, exactly like I imagined the book would be. I don't know. I really don't know. It was not a 5-star, and I think I'm just so disappointed and devastated that it wasn't a 5-star that I don't know what to rate it. I left off with you at the second trial and they go into the cave and we know that it's going to be some sort of pain. I think I said I thought it was going to be emotional pain. That's what it ended up being. And so when Ivy goes in the cave, obviously her and Lydia get separated. She actually finds the knife that she needs, and then the cave like kind of starts its trial on her, and she is viewing Emmett's memories, and she finds out that the secret that Emmett has been keeping from her is that he got married to Lady Talia, and he basically did it as like a political alliance to help Lydia, because when they were in the other world, the kingdom was kind of falling into disarray and Lydia needed to have more political power to kind of keep everything together because no one really respected her as queen. And so he marries Talia because Talia used to be one of Bram's lovers, and she wanted to get back at him, so she takes Emmett as her husband, and in return she kind of manages the court behind the scenes to give Lydia more credibility as queen. So obviously Ivy is so devastated. They have this big fight where Ivy's like, you got married, and he's like, so did you. And here's why I think Emmett getting married was worse than Ivy getting married to Bram, because Emmett is the one who set up the marriage between Ivy and Bram. Like, that was his whole thing. And like, yes, he tried to take it back at the end and run away with her, but he basically built this up in her mind that this is going to save all of England. She got married to Bram because she truly believed that it was going to stop Queen Moore's reign and save her sister, fix all of the bad bargains, and like redeem England. That's why she got married to Bram. Emmett gets married for Lydia to have political power, and like, yes, he thought Ivy was dead, but he also said, do you think my love is that fickle? And he basically, I feel like he I can't say my thoughts. It's so hard for me to convey my thoughts because he literally said, do you think my love is that fickle? Even when you were dead, even when I thought you were dead, you were still the only one for me. Goes and gets married. Even though it wasn't a love marriage, I just, I don't know. And then after that whole fight, Emmett gives Ivy the letters that he wrote to her. And the letters were the one moment where I was just like, this is the kind of like love that I was wanting in this book, because let me see if I can find it. He literally says in one of the letters, right after Bran tells him that Ivy is dead, he writes her a letter and he's like, even in death, you're the only one I want, please haunt me. Pouring out his heart into these letters. That is what I wanted from this whole story, and I feel like I just only got little glimpses of it, and they just kept hurting each other. The whole time I was thinking Rhysand would never. I don't know why. I was just like, Rhysand would never act like this? I don't know. I also feel like I had such a bad outlook on the rest of the story because I was so disappointed in how I was feeling about it, and so I don't know if I'm not giving it a fair shot because I was so upset that I wasn't loving it as much as I wanted to. So anyway, they have that fight. They get the knife. Bram comes into Ivy's room and he hears Emmett knock on her door, and she kind of like throws it off. Bram leaves, comes back glamored as Emmett. He basically finds out for sure that Ivy and Emmett love each other. Ivy freaks out and she's like, we have got to go. Like, he is going to kill one or both of us. And so she grabs the knife and she does this little maneuver where she gets Queen Moore to take Emmett back to England, but she knew in her brain that Queen Moore would never let Ivy go. She would use that as an opportunity to get back into Bram's good graces, and so she takes Ivy back. Ivy gets the chance to stab Bram with the sword or with the knife that they needed. She does it and it doesn't work, and so she is put in prison. Everything just goes into chaos. Somehow Ivy figures out that she can actually open the portal because she is of the royal family now. Emmett comes back from England into the other world. They're all kind of confined to their rooms until Bram announces the third trial, and this was our big ending of the story. In the third trial, they wake up and Lydia and Ivy are in like a ring together, and Bram's like, you all, neither one of you all I can trust. Whoever is the last sister standing is going to be queen. So he's like, you have to kill your sister to be queen. It's obviously Lydia and Ivy, neither one want to do that, and so they try to kill themselves while the other sister fights them to be like the first one who does it. Bram gets mad that they're trying to kill themselves and not each other, and so he kills Lydia. And when he does that, we got these little notions throughout the book that the land responded really well to Lydia. Like, she was able to get flowers to grow, and she had that little moment with the unicorn, and the land of the other world freaks out, and this huge forest sprouts up out of the ring. Complete chaos. It is holding Bram back, and this little tiny creature that we meet earlier on in the story gives Ivy this sword, and it is the actual sword that they needed to kill Bram. Ivy kills Bram. She goes back to Lydia. Lydia is like covered in vines and taken down into the forest and then brought back out, and she's back to life. Like, the forest or the land of the other world gives her her life back. I think they kind of alluded to that she is now a fairy, or maybe she's changed in some way, and so she will never be able to leave the other world. So Ryan stays with her. They confess their love for each other. They don't really say if they're gonna be together or not, but they do. Ivy, Emmett, Faith, and Marion go back to England. That's when we get our epilogue, where it's 20 years later. Ivy and Emmett have 6 kids, and they go back and visit the other world really often and go see Lydia, because Lydia can't leave the other world and come to England, and so it's like this big emotional moment where they had to part ways. Ivy is crowned actual queen of England and Emmett is her regent, and yeah, the epilogue was really sweet. We just see them have this amazing life together and 6 kids, and how each kid is similar to Emmett or Ivy or Lydia. Lydia still kind of grieves the Bram she thought she loved, and yeah, that was the ending. So I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm just sad that I didn't like it more, and I think I'm just gonna have to sit with it for a couple days. Maybe one day I'll try to reread it and with a different outlook, but I didn't love it, and I'm so sad that I didn't, and so I don't have a rating because I feel like right now I want to rate it like 0 because it just didn't give me what I wanted it to, but it's not a 0. It's probably maybe a 4, maybe a little less than a 4, because I did get those good moments, but just not everything that I wanted. So this is kind of a depressing first episode of the reading anticipated books, but hopefully the next one will be better. The next one I have planned is the sequel to Spellcaster, which is Night Witch. Hopefully have a little bit better of a ending to that story. So yes, sorry, this was a very depressing end to the video, but it just wasn't the book that I wanted. And that happens. That's gonna be it for today's video. I'm sorry if this was not very fun to watch, or maybe you like seeing people complain about books. Who knows? But either way, I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye!